Well, this one is a letdown. I'm sorry, I have to say that right off front. Mamoru Oshii directed this Canadian-Japanese co-production, making this his first film entirely in English. And while it looks pretty sweet, it sadly just leaves one empty, and with a headache. The film takes place on a world called Gaia, which circles a greater blue planet called Anun. 8 tribes of what is called the Garm have been at war with each other ever since their god called Danan left the world ages ago. The only ones left, and the only ones you need to know, are the Columba, who rule the air, the Brigga, who rule the ground, and the Kumtak, who are enslaved to the Brigga. And there are few of those left. It is even said that the Druids, who are said to convey the will of Danan, have died out as well. The Columba and the Brigga will soon have a final battle to the death. That summary I just gave is the shortest one I could make after seeing the info avalanche that were given at the beginning of the film. At least it wasn't an overlong rambling wall of text. The tribes of the Garm are technologically advanced, and when they die, their data is sent to a kind of data collection center, and they are reborn again and again via cloning, such is the case with Columba pilot Kara 23, played by Melanie St. Pierre, 23 being her generational code. And yes, she kinda looks like the Major from Ghost in the Shell and Ash from Avalon. The Columba see that a Brigga carrier is chasing a smaller Brigga vessel. After a battle, the Columba capture the small Brigga vessel's escape pod and... Okay, I know you're getting confused with the names. All this is just dumped on you at the beginning, without giving the viewer much time to really absorb any of it, or to help distinguish who is who. If anybody were to quit watching this movie after 10 minutes because of all this, I honestly can't blame you. Even I had a hard time remembering who each character was. What made me laugh though was that there's text telling you who each character was and who they belonged to, as I guess they figured the audience at large would have the same problem. They even have to give one to the damn Basset Hound. Look, I get that Mamoru Oshii loves that breed, but having it be a kind of holy creature to all of the tribes, one that bestows blessing and is forbidden to kill or clone, is just silly. In his other work, the inclusion of the dog felt natural and a charming creative quirk on his end, but not here. In the escape pod was Wid of the Kumtak, played by Lance Henriksen, and Nacien, a Druid. But since the title tells us up front that she is a Druid, we can't really share in the surprise of the Columba Council here when they figure it out. Plus, well, the movie is called Garm Wars: The Last Druid, so, well, there you go. This scene is another info avalanche, but the gist here is that Wid pretends to offer the Druid's capabilities and knowledge in exchange for his tribe's freedom. But he really just disables the Columba Council, while I think stealing their information after they approve of Nacien interfacing with their computers. Actually, it appears to outright kill them. Meanwhile, a Brigga attack squad arrives to take Wid and Nacien back. They are led by Skellig 58, played by Kevin Durand. He captures the two and escapes, but Kara 23 shoots them down, and she gets shot down as well. She eventually finds them after a long trek accompanied by Kenji Kawai's excellent score. After a fight where she is saved by the Basset Hound, which is called a Gula, and keeps Skellig from killing her, they agree to cross the sea in I believe a kind of hover tank, to an island called Duo Grund, the land of the Druids, where Nacien is to gain access to their system to try to find the answers to their questions. What questions, you ask? Oh, not much, just questions like, what are the Garm? Why do they fight? And why can't they create anything on their own? Why did their creator leave? And in what is hands down the best scene in the film, Kara even asks Skellig these questions and others like them.
Skellig, what's your first memory?
Target practice, maybe? Mission briefing?
No. Back further. What's the first thing that you can recall ever experiencing?
The first thing that I ever saw was light coming in when my sleep hive cell opened up. Your first memory isn't something similar to that?
So what if it is? We're gone. We fight, we die, we download. What is your first memory? Why is it any more important than your third, or your 10th, or your last?
There are serious dilemmas that the Garm face, such as being cloned all the damn time, and recycling memories and combat data leaves them little room to create anything else on their own. Animals have opportunities to live better, more meaningful lives than they do. They can't exist outside of their tribes for long, and if a clone dies, that's it. Their data doesn't get recycled.
Skellig, why are there no young Garm? Gulas give birth to pups. Even birds of the Torque Sea, like, raise chicks from eggs. Why is it just the Garm that have no young?
But this group is going to duo Grund at their own risk, as they want answers, and what have they got left to lose? We have names like Danon, which is likely a nod to the Tuatha Dé Danon, the pre-Christian deity said to inhabit Ireland long ago. Okay, I know there's way more to it than that, but bear with me here. Druid, which was a priestly class in ancient Celtic cultures, and Duo Grunn, which I think is this film's version of Tir na Nog, or something like it. What I'm getting at here is that those questions, concepts, and visuals could have made for something awesome, but what we have here feels not so much rushed as tragically unfinished. The whole film hints at something much bigger from the concept art and other things that are being discussed, but at roughly 90 minutes it hardly has any room to breathe. It uses ideas from Celtic culture and mythology, which could have been terrific in a series, but in the film feels somewhat tacked on. I'm actually familiar with some of that, as I have researched some of it in the past, but I couldn't be bothered to find out how well they weave into this particular story, as I was very bored very quickly. I really felt cold watching this one. I mean, we have characters truly dealing with a crisis concerning what their true purpose is, and we sadly just don't feel their sense of urgency. Apart from that really good scene between Kara and Skellig, we aren't given time to really know any of these characters. Even if they are clones or what have you, more moments showing how they each deal with their existential crisis would have been welcome. That's not the fault of the actors, who I imagine are doing their best with what they've been given, but everything here is delivered in a strangely clunky and straight-faced fashion, with no room to take anything in naturally. So you end up asking yourself, what am I watching as you're going through this movie? And by the time you get to the end, that's it? The damn thing ends on a giant cliffhanger where mechanical giants rise to fight the remaining Garm to exterminate them, thus ushering in a new era of warfare and, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The group gets to Duo Grunn, and after fighting some stone giants where Skellig is killed in the process, Nacien awakens, and yes, she looks like the girl from Angel's Egg and even the one from Avalon. She takes it upon herself to seize control of the Druid's giants and eliminate the Garm, as Danon feared their destructive power and left the world to go create life somewhere else. Nacien, controlling Wid's body, says that Danon, or the they that she refers to, became angered that the Garm started naming things.
Eventually, they named themselves, and they named the individuals that formed the tribe, and went on to name every living thing that filled this world. To name something is to show dominance over it. And when they were named by the Garm, they abandoned the Garm and left this world. For they feared the Garm and their reckless desire to conquer all that was in their world. They forbade the Garm the power to create new life. The Garm have had no future, only a present.
They, as Nacien puts it, are a jealous god. Okay, so Kara shoots her, and we see the world that Danon left to, and the one that Gaia circles is Earth? Or something like it. And so the film ends with the Garm being locked in warfare till the end of time. Whoop-de-doo. If this were to be any good, it should have been a series, more specifically an animated series done at Production IG. In 1996, they created a kind of pilot film that would have been shown to film festivals and, I believe, even investors. And was to start filming after Ghost in the Shell, but it was put on hold for a long time due to technological limitations. What I see here could have made for an incredible TV series, or even a 5, maybe 6-part OVA. Just get someone like Kazunori Ito to assist with expanding and patching up the script, make animation as good as something like Ghost in the Shell, and keep Kenji Kawai for the music, and that could have been a banger. Hell, just looking at these images feels like something out of a really good manga from the 1980s. I'm having more fun thinking about those possibilities than watching the damn movie. Even the pre-visualization reel for the film, which I believe was made in 2001, tells me this would have worked better in animation. Both reels just show more character, invention, and maybe even visual richness. The visuals in the film itself aren't bad, but they don't really feel like a theatrical feature, but more like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. Actually, the more I think about it, this could have been a pretty cool Sci-Fi Channel miniseries if everything was expanded upon and given room to breathe. I mean Sci-Fi Channel in its glory days, not what it became later on down the road. Garm Wars, despite decent visuals for what I imagine was a low budget, and a superb Kenji Kawai score, feels like a pilot episode for a TV series that never got picked up. One that pretends like it's partway through its run, that talks about past events even though those episodes haven't been made yet. The unfinished nature of it all leaves one feeling like they just wasted their time. It's all more confusing than enlightening, more alienating than engaging, more depressing than provocative. It's just not an effective standalone sci-fi movie. There's so much potential here and it just sadly lays there. It just makes me wonder why a good director like Mamoru Oshii would make this film this way. I'm not angry with the movie and I don't despise it, but I don't like it at all. and it's not among his best work, not by a long shot. If anything, this only proves that his best work is in animation. Apart from Avalon and the Red Spectacles, I just don't think he works comfortably in live action. His style is able to breathe more in animation, and those long stretches of cities or nature to establish atmosphere accompanied by Kenji Kawai's music feels more natural in animation. It just has more of an impact. It's like watching a beautiful land or cityscape painting come to life. Whereas in something like Garm Wars, it just feels awkward and arbitrary. I started to lose my patience with it since the rest of the film was just lacking. If you're a Mamoru Oshii fan such as myself, and if you haven't seen this yet, it might be worth watching at least once to say that you've seen it, to get your own view. Everyone else need not bother.